It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Thank you for tuning in to the Sean Widmer Podcast. Today we're going to talk music a little bit. I've got to talk about a band that lives in my brains, and we're going to get to that in a second. A shout out to a dude here. I think I met one of the weirdest dudes in Lexington in the world of basketball. Shout out to that guy in a second. Something that I can't believe exists. Why does it exist? I don't know. And it might also be reruns for there. And then something my wife does that I still can't believe it's real, and it has been addressed, and hopefully will end. Hopefully it's done. Hopefully it hasn't happened since it's been addressed. Insane. Thank you to the Patreon members over at patreon.com/Sean Widmer Podcast. You keep this thing going. It means a lot. Trivia 21 is found over there each week. You can do some trivia. I think I put a video up this week. I'm desperately trying to find a good, what's the best news site? Just down, what a bad question, right? That's a loaded question. Down the middle. Is there a down the middle news site? I'm comparing it to sports websites where you just get a box score and that's it, right? Well, it's Clippers versus Heat. Here's the final score and here's the numbers. Facts. That's it. Data. Less opinions. So I'm looking for that. But that's over on Patreon. You can go see the whole video. It's long and it got cut off. I didn't realize it can't be too long. Okay, let's give our shout out. I'm going to start the show off tonight with a shout out to one of the weirdest dudes I've met in basketball, in the history of basketball. This dude's crazy. I play a Monday night basketball game. It's really fun. It's for, it's a group of guys I met I really like. And Mike, my buddy Mike from Spokane, has joined in on it. He enjoys it as well. It's been very fun. And it was great. When I first started going to it, it was a group of older guys, probably, I'd say, mid-30s to early 50s. That's kind of changed a little bit. Some of the upper-end guys have dropped off. And it's a group of guys in the mid-30s to mid to late 40s. Great little run. Do it on Monday nights. Well, something has happened in the last couple of weeks where the word got out to, the weirdest dude I've met playing basketball in forever. This 20-year-old kid who can hoop. He can absolutely hoop. Great shooter, super quick, good guard. Probably didn't play in high school because he's an absolute head case, but has talent, has a lot of talent. And this guy's wild. He started showing up to hoops, and he's 20 years old, 19, 20, 21 years old, playing against 35 to 50-year-olds, and the dude can score at will. Well, no joke. And my favorite part is this guy starts showing up to hoops, and he's got a mouth on him. He's got a mouth. Well, I got a mouth on me too, and I've got 20-some years of mouth on him. And this dude, I mean, he's a killer. Look, if he goes one-on-one with me, if he gets matched up with me, he's going to score. He's going to score. He is way quicker than me. I do not have that in the bag anymore to stick with him. I might have never had that in the bag, but I could at least probably have caused a little bit of trouble for him. But there's no way I'm at 43 moving laterally like an athletic 20-year-old. That's just not happening. And it just kills me because I'll talk trash to him. The dude never passes, black hole, and just comes down to shoot. And I started giving him crap like, dude, you're, one-man show, like pass the ball. The normal thing I do to try to get guys who are coming in from an open gym mindset to we're playing as old guys trying to have fun. We pass the ball around. Everyone's going to try to shoot. And so you get guys who come in off the street who have not played in this style before, and you do have to kind of teach them the ways, because if you just play normal pickup, what he's doing is what you do. If you get the rebound, you go down and shoot because guys don't pass. Well, you try to set the precedent like we pass. So I'm giving him a hard time about that. Well, then I realized this guy doesn't take a hard time well. He is F-bombing every word in the book. He is in my business. This dude is mad at me. And I just finally was like, okay, dude, well, I'm amazed. I'm amazed there's a 20-year-old dude who comes out and his choice to play hoops is to play with 40-year-olds. I cannot imagine in my early 20s when I have athleticism and looking to play basketball at you think at the early 20s is a high level. I cannot even imagine walking into a gym and seeing a bunch of 40-year-olds and thinking, this will be fun. I can't imagine it. It speaks volumes to, again, I'm pathetic. It speaks volumes to the level of this kid, but it's been wild. It's been wild, and he keeps coming back. And I guess that's fun. It's either fun or when he goes to a real game, he can't hang. But I got to give this dude a shout out because I got to give him a little bit of credit that he has continually come back. I continually talk trash to him. He continually smokes me on the basketball court. He's way better than me. I'm very old. My back is very out. But he keeps coming back. It just keeps on going. So shout out to Nick from Lexington, 20-year-old who has decided that his pickup run will be against a bunch of 40-year-olds. It's got to feel like when you go out bowling and you put the bumpers up. I've got to imagine that's what it feels like. But I'm going to give a shout out to my guy Mike. When Mike guards him, Mike does give him problems. Mike gives him problems. I think when Mike came in for a game, this Nick dude was on fire. Mike shut him down. He didn't score on Mike. Mike did him dirty. Now, Mike was probably gassed on offense, didn't score a bucket. I'm also losing everything. I had a play this week, probably the most embarrassing play I've ever had, and Nick actually laughed in my face about it, and I was like, fair. Someone tried to throw me a full court alley-oop. I didn't know where I was in the court. I tried to catch it and shoot it in the air, and I jammed it off the bottom of the backboard. It was so embarrassing. That's where my level is. But shout out to Nick. See you on Monday. My back's out. I'm 43. Can't wait to talk trash to your 20-year-old young legs. It'll be fun. Okay, I don't know the easy transition to get into this, but we got to talk music today. We've got to talk music. I was driving and the song came on, and it took me back to a specific time. So there's a lot of groups, there's a lot of bands that do this for me. Take me back to a place. If we're going way back, Michael W. Smith takes me back to the early 90s in the car with my family, driving from Rubio, Venezuela to San Cristobal, and we're listening, jamming out to Michael W. Smith. It just takes me to that spot. Lauryn Hill takes me back to the mid-90s. Got the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, ran that CD to the ground. I know exactly, if I hear a song from that album, I know exactly where I am in life. I know exactly what I was doing, everything. I look at like Kesha TikTok. I hear Kesha TikTok. I'm at the Monterey Cafe in 2009, downtown Spokane with my guy DJ Kevy James, my guy Rob Sacre, who we're having a big time down at the Monterey Cafe. There's plenty of country music songs that take me to the 2010s when I'm working at the country radio station. And so, that takes me there. But the band I heard today takes me back to the early 2000s, coming back from Venezuela to Spokane and hearing these guys on the radio all the time the summer of my graduation. That is Creed. As today, I was driving home and on a shuffle playlist, One Last Breath came up. Now, I'm wondering if it's on like a playlist because I've seen this song being used a ton on Instagram Reels and TikTok Reels right now. I don't know why. I'm sure it's because it's kind of any song by the band Creed is considered sort of a joke song. Higher, One Last Breath. They're just kind of the joke band, right? They are late 90s, early 2000s, sort of one-hit wonders, crash and burn. They're crazy. The lead singer is wild, kind of looks crazy, crazy eyes. They're just kind of a goof band. We need to address something, though, right now. The best 3 Creed songs kind of rule. They kind of rule. I know, roll your eyes, groan, whatever it is you want to do right now, yell at the podcast. One Last Breath, Higher, and My Sacrifice are actually good. And if you played them in your car after you listen to the podcast, you're going to hit it with a fist bump. You're going to turn it up a little more than you thought you were going to. You're going to sing all the words. Yes, in the back of your mind, you're going to say, what a cheesy band. This is so dumb, but you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And we just have to address that. We got to face that head on. Creed's taking a bad rap. I get it. Higher is cheesy. The lyrics are cheesy in their songs. If you look at the band, right, if you watch a music video, they're terrible. The music video for One Last Breath is one of the worst music videos ever. But if you turn your headphones on and you crank it up and you play One Last Breath, you're singing every word and you're probably listening to it more than once. They kind of rule, guys. All right? Now, as you go deeper into their catalog, it gets real hairy. And it does not do well. Like we're talking maybe 3 to 5 songs at the max. So I get it overall as a band, Creed, not the one. But at the top, Their top songs, whew, they're good, guys. They're good. This was challenged. I brought it up today to some buddies. My guy Jeremy, of course, he was like, they're meh. They're meh. Jeremy, you're wrong. You're meh. You're wrong. Okay, tough guy. Although Jeremy likes rock. It hurt me when Jeremy said they're meh. I text a group of friends, Max, Andy, Chris, and Jeremy, and I wanted to get responses from all of them. The only one that mattered to me was Jeremy's, though, because he's our rock guy, and he hit me with it's meh, they're meh, and I immediately felt I deflated a bit. But Max had said no, he's more of a Three Doors Down guy. I went to listen to Three Doors Down to be like, because I didn't think I liked them. They're not that great. Now they have Kryptonite is listened to twice as much on Spotify, twice as much as the number one listened to Creed song. That Kryptonite song is huge. I do not like that song, full disclosure, but I listened to a couple more Three Doors Down songs. They're all the same. At least Creed hits you with a little bit of a mix-up with the pacing on some of their songs. And maybe Three Doors Down's catalog goes deeper, but when it comes to the top, they don't hang with Creed. They just don't. So do yourself a favor. I just wanted to we needed to address it and needed to be brought up. I feel like they get a lot of grief for being cheesy and hokey and everything that was wrong with a moment in time in music. But when you go listen to it, you're gonna listen to it more than once. You're welcome. Speaking of music, I guess I've had a music day today because I jammed out to Creed, cruising around. And the sun was out in Lexington today, so maybe that had something to do with it too. The music's just better when the sun's out. But I went and got some drinks tonight with some buddies, and my buddy Matt, who at one point was in a band called the Novus Effect back in the early 2010s. He was telling me about a little band that they used to open up for back in the day. And they used to be around when they were kind of getting their band going. This other band from Western Ohio was getting their band going, and that band's name is 21 Pilots. I had not listened to 21 Pilots in a long time. So Matt mentioned them tonight, and I was like, as soon as I left, I did not listen to Novus Effect. Sorry, Matt. But I did go out and I went out and sought out 21 Pilots. Dude, 21 Pilots, if you have not listened to them in a while, again, I'm top tiers. I am not looking, and I think I've made this very clear on the podcast before. I get it. We all have the bands we love. I've got my Weezer, and there's the deep cuts that I think are the best. Dude, the deep cuts, bro. Oh, you like the radio hits? I like the deep cuts, man. I'm a real fan of the band. Screw off. The best songs are the ones that were on the radio. They are. Don't get cute. I get it. You like track 10 on the third album. We get it. You like the band. The songs that were played on the radio that are the most listened to on Apple Music and Spotify, they're the best songs. Sorry, they are. So 21 Pilots, I just went and listened to the bangers. Stressed Out is an all-time great song. Ride is an all-time great song. Heathens is an all-time great song. 21 Pilots has some smash hits. So shout out to Matt for kind of reminding me that these guys were out there because I hadn't listened to them in a while, and I took a little walk down memory lane, drove a little slower to get home tonight because I wanted to listen to a couple more 21 Pilots songs. So I'm in a music mood right now. In a music mood. Real quick, before we get into Kelly's What Are You Into, I did have something happen. I work with a bunch of 20-year-old dudes. One of them drinks Mountain Dew like it's water, and I've just never seen anything like it. I mean, I like Mountain Dew. I grew up liking Mountain Dew in my college years, but even in my peak loving Mountain Dew, I didn't even get close to what my guy Nathan does on a daily basis to some Mountain Dew voltage. I didn't even come close. And so we were talking about it, and I thought, you know what? I could use a Mountain Dew. I was low on caffeine. I'd seen Nate all jacked up on Mountain Dew, and I thought I need to get all jacked up on Mountain Dew. So I was at the store, and I saw just on the way out checkout stand, I saw the soda machine, the soda refrigerator. And I grabbed a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I was like, Baja Blast sounds great. I grabbed it, checked out, got in the truck. I'm like, yes, I'm doing this. I'm going to get this caffeine before I head home. And I took a nice swig of the Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and I was like, that tastes terrible. Which was terrifying to me because I immediately thought, have my taste buds outgrown Mountain Dew. And I had a moment of panic because I don't want that to happen. Right? I mentioned it on the podcast Monday. I want Top Ramen to always be good to me. These are things I always want to be good to me. Top Ramen, Totino's Party Pizzas, and Mountain Dew. I never want to outgrow those things. I want those to always be in the taste bud bag. And so this Mountain Dew Baja Blast tastes terrible. And then I looked at it and I was like, well, the label looks a little weird. Maybe it's, what is this? Mountain Dew Baja Blast Zero Sugar. Who is that for? Who is the target audience for that? Who is the person that went to the soft drink section and went, I need zero sugar Mountain Dew? Once you commit to the dew, you are doing the dew. Period. You are not, I kind of want to dabble into the dew. You're doing the dew. Wasn't dabble the dew, it's do the dew. So just jump in. There should not be a zero sugar option. It shouldn't exist. That's not Mountain Dew. That's not the way that's supposed to be. I couldn't believe it. Tastes like garbage. So that was a little disappointing. I did feel good though, because then I realized I still like Mountain Dew. I don't have to worry about that. Zero sugar Mountain Dew. There is no thing in the world I can think of that deserves to have the sugar ripped out of it less than Mountain Dew. Not one thing.
Kelly's, what are you into?
I'm into my wife being alive. How's that for a Kelly's? What are you into? Into my wife being alive. My wife was doing something the other day that I was amazed by. And then I guess Elsa, who's living with us right now, which was great. By the way, I think I've mentioned it before. It's great. It's great. What a help. If you can get your nanny in your house to help out with the kids, do it. Do it. Especially if they're like Elsa and they're just chill. Do it. So Elsa mentioned it to Anna as well. As I was leaving the house the other morning, and I, made some breakfast for the kids, made some lunches for the kids, and I'm kind of speeding through. So I'm kind of like, I'm not really paying all the way attention to what's going on. It's just kind of the routine of, okay, here's the things I do before I leave, and then I get that done, and I grab my stuff, and I head out towards work. And my wife had come downstairs, and she was like making Olivia a little something else for breakfast and making her something for breakfast. And so she had dropped some toast into the toaster. And I looked over, and I'm still doing my stuff, and I looked over again. I said, there's no way that's happening right now. As my wife had dropped the toast into the toaster and had a knife, a butter knife, and was fiddling around with the toast in the toaster. And I had a panic attack. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I freaked out. Too loud. Probably scared the children. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, you can't stick the silverware into the toaster when the toaster's turned on. She's like, what? How would you ever know that? What do you mean, how would you ever know? Well, electricity, first of all, just simply the fact with electricity, science class growing up. And two, I feel like everyone knows what not to do with a toaster. A couple things not to do with a toaster. Don't throw it in the bathtub when you're in the bathtub, and don't stick the silverware in it. Unless you want to look like Marv in Home Alone in the basement. That's it. That's the only reason to do that. And she was like, for some reason, not believing me. So I'm like, okay. So she asked Elsa, hey, did you know you're not supposed to do this? And Elsa was like, yes, you're absolutely not supposed to do that. I saw you doing it the other day, and I was going to bring it up. What are you doing? So I'm just, my Kelly's, what are you into? My wife being alive, as at, her now in her 30s, she has discovered not to stick silverware into a toaster that is active. Wild. Let's head to see if there's any comments. I think there might have been a comment today. Let's see here. You can comment over at seanslife.com. You can comment over at Spotify. If you listen on Spotify, they have a comment section there. And if you watch the videos on YouTube, you can comment on YouTube. So I got to find the ones that we have. We had a couple on YouTube. Here we go. My man Jay Dizzle. Love myself some Jay Dizzle. Dizzle, we don't talk enough. Dizzle said, jalapenos in Top Ramen? I usually put some sweet pepper slices in mine. Might have to give some spicier peppers a try. Yeah, I like it. So ideally, if you're really going to get snazzy with it, I will slice up the jalapenos and I'll hit them on the skillet or some kind of pan, and I'll heat them up, soften them a little bit, and then I'll drop them in the top ramen. That's really the elite way to do it. Never tried a sweet pepper. Sounds good, Jay. Appreciate you. Roberta said this over at YouTube. Cereal stackers. Throwback. We're gonna get to that. Cereal stackers. I will never hound you when pod episodes aren't out. I know life happens. Yes, capital letters, life. And you have a family, which should always take precedence to the pod. Do I miss you when you are gone? Certainly. But most importantly, the status of your mind is the crux of life. If you're getting stressed over the pod, it no longer is a healthy thing for you. Time does run out when you have a busy, active family. Be assured we will be out here waiting for you to take a break. Well, I appreciate it, Roberta. I know I sound like a whiny baby at the end of the last pod, but I heard from just enough people that they like when I'm just open about that stuff. I don't know if it's the right thing. Those people might be duping me, but we just, we had an open moment there. Cereal stackers. Talked about cereal on Monday. One of my favorite things we did with the Jay and Kevin show, raised a bunch of cereal for charity. We took it down to the food bank. But what we wanted to do is try to build the tallest tower of cereal. And so we collected cereal for, I think, a month. And we had a lot of it. And then we built, over the course of a 4-hour show, we had a bunch of us out in the parking lot. We built a level surface, and we built a wall of cereal to see how high we could get it. And this tower was crazy huge. Crazy. And we got in big trouble for it because it was built outside of the TV station, and there was a 2-story building that was there where they would shoot commercials, and it was just a big kind of warehouse vibe with an infinity wall in it, and it was a cool building. But outside of that 2-story wall, we got up on the roof of the building, and because the tower got so high, we were over 2 stories, we were on the roof kind of helping stack higher these cereal boxes. Woo, we were not supposed to be on the roof. Woo. Oh, that was made very clear to us that was not right. But we built this big thing of cereal, super cool, had some great pictures of it, monster building of cereal, and it was awesome, and we were excited to donate all this stuff to the food bank in Spokane. Well, I was super excited because we built this tower, took the pictures, and then we went up to close out the show because we wanted to do it in a 4-hour window. I think we did it in like 2.5 hours. So we go upstairs to close out the show, and I'm so excited because what I've been waiting for this whole day is to come back downstairs and pull out the Jenga piece in this tower of cereal and watch the cereal come crumbling to the ground. Because there's nothing says love you quite like donating a bunch of damaged box of cereal. Didn't think about that. But I wanted to see him crumble. We had spent so long building this tower. I still am a kid at heart. When you make a tower as a kid, you knock it over, and that's part of the fun. So we speed back downstairs. This kid, JJ, that we worked with, had not only knocked down the tower, he had somehow, in this 10-minute window, knocked down the tower and loaded all of the cereal boxes into the back of this truck that we had that was going to take the cereal away and taken the cereal away. All of it. I don't know how he did it in this 10 minutes. He had to have had help. But I'm like, did you film video of the tower falling? He's like, no, dude, it was awesome, though. Cool. Thanks, JJ. All right, Roberta, thank you for the comment. Over on Spotify, Yvonne says this. I like Captain Crunch berries. They're so good, Yvonne. They're so good. I like Captain Crunch berries. Zoe's favorite is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It does get soggy quick. I must be an old person. Oh, here we go. Baseball. I must be an old person. Baseball is my thing. Not only did Ichiro get into the Hall of Fame, his jersey 51 was retired. He is Andrew's favorite baseball player. Joey Cora was mine. Tattoo to prove it. Glad you're back. Missed you last week. Except for trivia. Yeah, trivia was there. Trivia will be back this week, too. Thank you, Yvonne. I'm trying. The baseball thing still bothers me, Yvonne. I don't know what it is. The Ichiro thing really bothers me still. Joey Cora. What a great Mariner to have as your favorite player. Joey Cora. Joey Cora was great. I love Dan. Dan Wilson was my guy. In that time frame, Dan Wilson was by far my favorite. When I got my sports show in 2004, 2005, I got my own sports show. The number one thing I wanted to do, well, one of the number one things I wanted to do was, I guess you can technically only have one number one thing to do. So one of the things I wanted to do was interview Dan Wilson, which I ended up doing. And I also got his home phone number. And my cousin Scott and I, because I'm a child, we would occasionally just call his house late at night to hear his voicemail. Is that weird? Sure is. Thanks for listening.